So in a week or two, I will work on a much more substantial video about my recent trip to Europe. But I wanted to talk just a little bit about tourist scams for a moment. So I spent 2 weeks in December in Europe again. And at the beginning of my trip, I went to Poland. And I do my homework, look stuff up, make plans, figure it out. I'm willing to do some of that because I'm a cheapskate and that doesn't cost me anything. But there are all these outfitter companies that will sell you on package deals to go do day trips. I saw this when I was down in the Caribbean, and I saw this in Poland, and the Polish ones are worse. When I was down in Belize in 2009, that was in 2020. They had my buddy was initially annoyed at the fact that our rental car was going to cost us $700 with full coverage for about 9 days. And I explained to him that the outfitters charge between $80 and $90 a person per day for a trip, which means that if we did one thing a day, it would cost us $1,200 to do one thing a day, and that would be all we did. And with a car, we had the flexibility to go when we wanted, where we wanted, to see multiple things, to stay out till dark, to take a detour, change our minds, etc. And so it turned out to be a huge savings, even though the car was really expensive for 2020. But so I found a couple of things. I'm just going to pause here and bring them up. All right, so I pulled both of these up on getyourguide.com. It's funny, they're on sale now. So we're going to talk about the original price and talk about what it cost me. So there were two major day trips that I took from Krakow in the region, one to Auschwitz-Birkenau, and the other one was to Wielickzia salt mine. So we'll start with Wielickzia first. So in order to get from Krakow to Wielickzia, I took the train, which cost me about $4 each way. And then the tour itself was about $28 based on the current exchange rate to go through the tour. So these, according to this website, you can do the tour from anywhere from $15 a person, which must be just for the tour, to $63 a person, which must be including pickup. Not sure exactly what it includes. I did the tour then for $36. Got there myself. I had to walk a little bit to the train station from the train station. Big whoop. And then, of course, I don't know if there's a group price. Right now, they're half price. If you look on their website, the one that's $15 a person says it used to be 30. There's one that says 20 that used to be 40, etc. So $40 a person is more than I paid. Then we look at Auschwitz-Birkenau. And there are guides for Auschwitz-Birkenau. I didn't pay for a guide. Going to Auschwitz-Birkenau is free. You got to get there. Again, I rode the train. It was $7 each way. You go to the main train station in Krakow, right out to Auschwitz. It's about a mile straight down the road from the train station to the camp. And then the camp is free. You just have to have a reservation. So again, they're all discounted now for some reason, but they weren't discounted when I was there. Not sure why that is. So they have day trips from $12 a person or $25. Again, those are now half price. There's also one for $33. But again, these are all now half price day trips compared to what they used to be. So the $12 one used to be $25. The $33 one used to be $40. The $25 one used to be $50, etc. So how much did it cost me to go to Auschwitz-Birkenau? $14 per person. That was for the train because I didn't hire a guide. I'm not sure what the guides cost. They also say that the day trip for Auschwitz-Birkenau is 7 to 8 hours. I guess I was on the train for about an hour each way, so that's 2, and I was in the camp for 2.5, so 4.5 hours. And let's see. According to the internet, the salt mine tour is 2.5 to 6 hours. I can't remember how long it took me to ride the train, but it's only like 3 stops from where I was staying. So maybe 15 minutes each way. That's a half an hour plus 2.5 hours in the mine. So that's 3 hours. This says 3 to 4 hours, 4 hours, 3 to 6 hours, 4.5 hours. Now there's an extended tour in the mine I didn't take. I don't know how much that added. I was going to ask and didn't, just because I was trying to manage expectations. I don't feel bad I didn't go to the museum. It's an underground mining museum. I'm like, okay, whatever. But the point is the prices were clearly when I was there inflated. Um, if they can sell it to me for $25 a person, then charging 50 a week or two ago is extortion. I basically paid the same price as the tours are offering, and I did it myself. I got up, I walked, was at a quarter mile to the train station, bought a ticket, got on, rode it to Wielickzia, got off, walked half a mile into Wielickzia. It was early, so I actually went all the way into the town, and then I came back after I had seen the downtown and the cathedral and everything, which they were working on. So it wasn't as cool as I was hoping it would be because they had the whole face of the cathedral covered. But so I got to see the town before it opened at 9. Did my tour, and I was back in Krakow by having lunch at my place at 1 o'clock. Same thing with when I went to Auschwitz. My appointment at Auschwitz was at 12:30, so I got up, went into town, saw the Krakow cathedral and the old palace there, got on the train, rode the train out there, finished up at Auschwitz right around sunset, about 4:30, got back on the train, came back into town, went to the market, saw them light the Christmas tree, blah, blah, blah. So I had a much more productive day than you would have with an organized tour because I had the flexibility of being willing and able to do it myself. So if you're willing to do some of the planning and the legwork yourself, you can save a ton of money and you can increase your flexibility. And clearly, if they can discount these tours to half price now, they were overcharging people when I was there. I don't know, $12 a person sounds about like what it cost me to go to Auschwitz. So now I wouldn't have saved anything and I could have had a tour, except for it would have taken me a lot more time. I also didn't mind walking. I didn't mind riding the train. I didn't mind taking their transportation. I didn't need to take their little van. So my point is there are options. And if you're willing to do a little legwork yourself, you can increase your options, your flexibility, and sometimes maximize what you can see for the price that you pay. I was able to do a lot more in the same amount of time because I was the master of my own day. I set my own timetable and I paid my own way there. Maybe I didn't save any money, at least not over the current price. But I like to do a lot of traveling in the winter because there don't seem to be anywhere near as big a crowds. The salt mine wasn't heavily trafficked. There were a lot of people at Birkenau, which was weird. But there's only a certain number of people that can be in the camp at a time in order to make sure that you can have a reverent experience at Auschwitz-Birkenau. Anyway, some tips about traveling in Poland. I definitely recommend Krakow. It's a small town, but I'll talk later about some of the things I really liked about Krakow in Poland.